Are performed around 7:30 this morning on both officers after that shooting happened where 2 HPD officers were serving a warrant, and we do know the suspect deceased. Our colleague Jeremy Rogalski joining us now with some recent information. Jeremy, what have you learned?
So we've been able to get a better timeline of just how quickly things unfolded this morning. This coming from the call slip log at 5350 Arrow Park Drive, apartment 3203. The call dropped at 7:28 this morning. It was for a call for assistance. As we've been saying all morning, 2 officers shot. That call slip did say that one was in the stomach, one was shot in the leg. 1 minute later at 7:29, another entry in the call slip log said that a suspect was down, so we know that. 7:32, as we just heard from out in the field, the call slip was talking about CPR being performed. We're not exactly sure if that was on the officer or the suspect at 7:32, but that was in the entry from the call slip log. A few minutes later, there obviously was information saying that one of the officers was going to Memorial Hermann, as we know. And then at 8:04, a fire chief on the scene did pronounce one person deceased. And I want to be very clear. We don't know exactly per that call slip who that was, but of course, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez's tweet, that suspect was pronounced dead. So everything was, happening obviously in a matter of minutes. From 7:28, when the initial call goes out, suspects down, reported just 1 minute later, and then of course the continuing log about CPR being performed, going to Memorial Hermann, so on and so forth. So that's what we got. Again, the source of that is the call slip record as it goes out vis-a-vis HPD dispatch.
Jeremy, at this point, there's no word on the type of warrant being served there, any information on that just yet. Too early for that. Yeah,
obviously that's something we want to know. And, was it a drug warrant? Was it some other type of warrant? We do know in terms of bigger picture, and it's worth pointing out now, is that HPD after Harding Street banned no-knock warrants, and just for the lay public out there, that is in past before Harding Street, sometimes officers would go in unannounced. After the Harding Street situation, then Chief Art Acevedo said, we are not going to do any no-knock warrants unless there's extenuating circumstances, and those no-knock warrants would have had to been approved from high up, either the chief or the 2 executive assistant chiefs. So I say all that for context and perspective, because every warrant that I've seen since Harding Street, nearly everyone certainly that I've seen, has been in the language of the warrant, a knock and announce warrant.
Very specific.
Right. Now, we don't want to put any cart before any horse here, because we don't know what type of warrant it is. There's plenty of different types of warrants that officers can serve, but it's something that throughout the course of the day we're going to want to learn.
So having seen a lot of these warrants being issued and whatever you've covered in the past, what is protocol? How many officers would go to serve this warrant?
Yeah, I'm certainly no expert on warrants, but what I've seen is you're going to have several, right? You're not just going to have you and your partner, and for the reason for safety. Officer safety is paramount and is always number one. So you're usually going to have a team at the door. You'll probably have a spotter on the street. You'll have a mix sometimes of marked units as well as unmarked. Sometimes you'll have your regular uniform officers on the street. Sometimes you'll have the more tactical gear wearing officers. Well, they'll have the vests, and of course those do say police. So again, we don't want to presuppose anything at this point, but it's something that we're going to be looking into to see exactly what's going on. We do know the apartment number here. We're going to try to backtrack who might have been staying there. For what it's worth, this is, we are told, government housing. So, we'll look into, see if we can find out how long the people at that unit, that apartment unit, were staying there. And those are the sort of questions we're going to be wanting to ask and trying to get some answers, because any officer will tell you that there's no such thing as a routine warrant being served. A lot of things can happen. And certainly we're seeing this unfold in real time here this morning on the north side.
In Harris County territory or HPD?
Well, right now, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez just tweeted that Harris County Sheriff's Office is handling the scene investigation. So
that's
where we are there.